So guess who just saw Tron Ares? I did. I did. So there's been a lot of debacle with this movie. I'm not gonna hold you. Like a lot of back and forth. People saying it's either trash or peak fiction. I will say, one of the reasons why this movie is probably not doing so well is because of Jared Leto. That guy's kind of a not kind of he's a menace to society. He really is. I don't know why people keep signing him on, but I did learn through some research that he was a Tron fan, and they kind of signed him on for this project. What was it? In 2017, when he just won his Oscar and whatnot, too, and coming off of a Suicide Squad's success, even though critically to do so well, but it still made money. So he was a hot name for sure, and they still ran with the program with him. Regardless, Tron Ares is out. I saw it, and if we're being real, I thought it was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the movie was kind of a fun movie. It was really, if we're being honest, just a modern Tron legacy. It felt like a very good continuation of the Tron story. If you watch the movie, so felt like a good sequel. That it was its own thing, and it was just fun to watch. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was an experience. I feel like this is one of those movie-going experiences where you got to see it in 3D and or 3D IMAX. You know what I mean? Either see it on the high screen IMAX or see it in 3D IMAX. You gotta just see this and have that experience. And it was also made for 3D. I was talking to my homeboy Kendall. I was telling him there are movies that can be in 3D but wasn't made for 3D. A good example is Avatar: Way of Water and Avatar. Those movies are made for 3D. They were made with the intent of being used for 3D. They have those cash grab movies I'm just gonna name a random movie. We'll say Zootopia. Zootopia was not made for 3D, but they could make it in 3D just to get that extra money, if that makes sense. So you could put it in 3D, but it wasn't made for 3D. Tron Ares was made for 3D. So when you're having these action sequences and whatnot, these visuals, it looks dope. And especially on the IMAX screen too. I think what really elevated this movie was the experience. And I feel like the experience kind of helps it a little bit when it comes to me just enjoying the overall vibe of the movie. Story-wise, though, it was just kind of okay. It was solid for sure. I think I would have wanted a bit more. It's the overarching story is we have these two rival companies, and they both want to find this prominence code. The prominence code is this code that you use to anything from the grid, you can bring it to the real world, but it stays in the real world. Because right now, without the prominence code, it things from the grid, if it comes to the real world, it lasts for 30 minutes. So they want to find the prominence code so they can bring things from the grid to the real world, and they stay there indefinitely. That's the goal. That's the whole main function, the first overarching story arc, if that makes sense. So in the beginning, what are the names? I'm not going. All I know is Ares. I think her name is. What is her name, bro? So that's one of the downsides. You don't know any of the character names for real. All you know is Tron. All you know is Ares, Athena, and that's really it. Everyone else. Okay, Eve. There we go, Eve. So Eve. Where's my button? Eve found the prominence code and it's some in the beginning of the movie, she made the tree survive for more than 30 minutes. It was a huge breakthrough. While the rival company, I think his name is Julian. There we go. He then wants to kidnap Eve to get the code. That's that. And plus, he's off. Julian's on the offensive because he had a whole meeting with a sponsor with us, showing off Ares, how they could bring the people programs from the rich real life. How you have soldiers and weapons and whatnot. He showed that to the sponsors or whatever you want to call the business people. And they don't know that about the promise code thing. They don't know these things only last for 30 minutes. So now he's in a rush to get Eve now to get the promise code. At the same time, we got Ares, who's the main character. And he's now in the real world and he experienced rain and whatnot. So he was getting these unknown sensations. And then at the same time, when Julian wanted him to research Eve to find her, he's then for the most part, kind of like fell in love with Eve and her journey, and like wants to explore that now. Now he wants to be real, so he wants to get the promise code to be real and whatnot, to explore the world, like these new sensations and feelings. And that's the plot. So they ended up capturing Eve, bringing her to the grid to like steal the information from her head. Tron saves her. We get all these cool action sequences and whatnot. Like I think probably like the best sequence was like the water sequence, like when they were escaping the building, the grid, like him in the water. That was tough, like that, and like again, it looked really cool in 3D too. So what I'm getting at is like this movie is mainly just like hype moments and aura. Like the story itself is okay. I think it could be like a little bit flushed out, like seeing like, you know, more of like these programs gaining more sentience a little bit. Wanting to him wanting to like be human or like come to the real world and whatnot. I feel like, you know, exploring that a bit more. And also just exploring their version of the grid. I wish we could have done that more. But they kind of did that because like when Julian was hacking Eve's company, like he sends the programs to hack, and like it kind of shows like how like the grid is also used like its protection field to like protect your servers, like you could use them as like hackers and whatnot too. So that was kind of cool to see like how like these programs are also used to like hack, get information and whatnot, and you can also have your own grid of your own programs to like protect your database and whatnot. So that was kind of cool to see that action sequence. That was dope. I think just because just comparing the two from Tron Legacy to this, in Tron Legacy we had like this cool visual spectacle of like being in the grid and like exploring that, like just how cool it is and whatnot. Like this cool soundtrack, everyone wearing the cool suits. Like it was really dope to see. And I feel like I kind of like the idea of like bringing programs to the real world, but then we're kind of like missing out like that cool sci-fi aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like just seeing the grid and whatnot. But it was still cool to like see like Ares and other programs in the real world like doing stuff with their life cycles, their vehicles. That was still cool to see. I feel like I wish we would have got more of that. We kind of get it like at the beginning of the movie and in the end of the movie. I feel like just maybe like one other sequence in the middle of the movie would have been kind of cool to see. Like how that would have been nice to see. But yeah, other than that, bro, that's all I really want. Just probably like just more action. Like when we got action, the action was cool. I feel like give me like 5% more action, I would have been happy. That would have been decent to see. But yeah, that was dope. What else happened? I will say when it comes to like Ares' design, he does look fresh. I did like, you know, the triangle disc grew on me. I will say that was kind of lame. Like they were just trying to be different. But like over time, I was like, okay, this looks kind of cool. And I feel like again that with this movie is like, you know, this looks kind of cool. We got the cool music in the background too with the techno and whatnot. 3D, everything's popping in your face. Pause. That was major pause. Jesus. But you have the cool 3D spectacle, like everything moving around you and whatnot. Like this movie is cool and fun to watch. And I feel like because of that, that's why I'm giving like probably like a low 7, high 6 in that range. I feel like I can give it like maybe like a 6.8 to 7. That's this range for this movie right now. Like just a fun movie. You hop in, watch it, you enjoy yourself. You know, very simple story though. Like it's not groundbreaking. Like I say the same thing for like Tron Legacy. Like that story was just kind of simple. You know, like oh, these ISOs are very rare. We want to, you know, bring that to the world because it could change the world with their perspective. Then at the same time, we have Clue want to bring his arms to the real world to conquer. You know what I mean? So like that was just like a very basic story, but it was still entertaining to watch. You know what I mean? And I will say I think they had like very good continuity. Like everything still made sense because like with Flynn, it makes sense why Clue needed his disc because Flynn had the prominence coast. Like with his disc, Clue could go to the real world because he has his disc, but everyone else doesn't have Flynn's memories or his disc, so that's why they're trying to find this prominence code. Has to like go back through his history and whatnot and like create it themselves. Not create, but like discover it. So everything still makes sense of why they couldn't last in the real world, like Julian's programs and whatnot, but Flynn's can because he had the code all along. So everything in the continuity still makes sense, which I appreciate. And overall, just a solid story. What else can I say? There's really nothing to say. It was like a very cut and dry, simple movie. I have fun with it. Would I recommend watching it? If you're going to watch it in 3D and or IMAX 3D, yes. If you're just going to watch it on a basic streaming, I say don't watch. Just wait for digital. to be honest. Wait for digital, but I feel like this one of those spectacle experiences you just need to see in person in 3D. But yeah, that's it for the Tron Ares review, I believe. Yeah, that's it. I think I'm just yapping at this point. Just a fun movie. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Y'all be easy. Oh, also, like and subscribe too. That part. Almost forgot to say that, but yeah. Now we're officially done. Be easy.